Nothing fancy, just one bedroom, a tiny kitchen, and a hallway that always smelled like old carpet and dust. But the rent was stupid cheap, and Daniel didn't pay. Relicare, he worked from home, didn't have many friends around, and honestly, he liked the quiet. The building itself was old, like really old. The kind of place where the lights flicker in the hallway and the elevator makes that weird grinding noise every time it moves. But Daniel thought it was kinda cool. First few nights were normal. He'd order takeout, watch Netflix, maybe scroll on his phone until 2 a.m. like everyone else. Nothing weird. Until he installed a security camera. Now don't get me wrong, Daniel wasn't some paranoid dude, but a few packages had gone missing in the building recently. So if he could add, why not? He bought a cheap camera online and stuck it above his front door. Just something simple. Motion detection, night vision, basic stuff. The first 3 nights, nothing happened. Just an empty hallway. But on the 4th night, something weird popped up. At exactly 3:17 a.m., the camera detected motion. Daniel only noticed it the next morning while drinking coffee and scrolling through the footage. At first, it looked normal. The hallway light flickered a little, and then someone appeared. A man, standing directly in front of Daniel's door. Just standing there. Daniel frowned and leaned closer to the screen. The guy didn't knock. He didn't move. He just stood there, staring directly at the camera, like he knew it was there. Daniel watched the clip again, and again. Something about it felt off. The guy's face was pale. Not like sick pale, more like he'd never seen sunlight in his life. But the creepiest part, he was smiling. Not a friendly smile. More like the kind of smile someone gives when they know something you don't. Daniel figured it was probably just some drunk dude in the building messing around. Whatever, he muttered, closing the laptop. But the next morning, the camera notification showed up again. 3:17 a.m. Same time. Daniel opened the footage. And there he was again, the same man, standing in the same spot. Except this time, he was closer to the door. Daniel felt a weird chill run down his back. Okay, that's kinda messed up, he said to himself. He grabbed his phone and checked the live camera feed. The hallway was empty. Daniel even opened the door and stepped outside. Nothing. Just the buzzing hallway light and the smell of old carpet. No footsteps. No elevator sound. No one. Now Daniel started feeling uneasy. Because here's the thing. To reach his apartment, someone would have to walk through a long hallway that had another camera at the end. But that camera never showed anyone entering. That night, Daniel decided to stay awake and made coffee, turned on all the lights, and sat on his couch, watching the clock. Midnight passed. 1 a.m. 2 a.m. The apartment was dead silent. At around 3:10 a.m., Daniel's eyes started getting heavy. He leaned back on the couch. Man, I'm tripping, he muttered. Then his phone buzzed. Motion detected. Daniel's eyes snapped open. The time on his phone read 3:17 a.m. His heart started pounding. He slowly opened the security app. The hallway camera loaded, and there he was again. The same guy, standing right outside the door. But this time, the man leaned closer to the camera. So close that his face filled the entire screen. His eyes were wide, and that same creepy smile stretched across his face. Daniel felt his stomach drop. Yo, what the hell? He whispered. Without thinking, he rushed to the door and yanked it open. The hallway was empty. Dead quiet. Daniel stepped out, looking left and right. Nothing. He checked the stairs, the elevator. No one. Now, he was seriously freaked out, so he did something smart. He installed another camera inside the apartment, facing his bedroom. Just in case. All right, he said, half joking. Let's see what's really going on. The next night, Daniel finally went to sleep around 2 a.m. Everything felt normal, until his phone buzzed again. But Daniel didn't wake up. because the notification came at 3:17 a.m. The next morning, Daniel woke up late. He grabbed his phone and saw the alert. Motion detected. Bedroom camera. Daniel frowned. Wait, what? He didn't remember waking up during the night, so he opened the footage. The video started with Daniel sleeping in his bed. The room was dark, except for the faint light coming through the window. For about 20 seconds, nothing happened. Then, something moved in the corner of the frame. Daniel leaned closer to the screen. A shadow slowly stepped into view, and Daniel's entire body went cold, because standing next to the bed was the same man from the hallway. The man stood there silently, looking down at Daniel while he slept. Then slowly, he turned his head and looked straight into the camera and smiled. Daniel dropped his phone. His heart was racing so fast he thought he might pass out. He rewound the video with shaking hands, watching it again and again. Then the worst part happened. At the end of the footage, the man slowly leaned down near Daniel's ear and whispered something. The camera microphone barely picked it up. But when Daniel increased the volume, the words became clear. The man whispered, "Relax, buddy. I live here now." Daniel moved out that same day, packed everything. Didn't even stay one more night. But here's the really messed up part. When the landlord checked the apartment cameras, they never saw anyone enter the building. Not that night. Not the night before. Not ever. So yeah, next time you wake up in the middle of the night and feel like someone's watching you, maybe you're not imagining it.